What's going on, guys? On today's episode of the Repair Lab, we're going to be taking this shark vacuum and we're going to be cleaning the filters. Now, it's important that you clean out your vacuum every so often to prevent it from clogging or the motor burning up or anything of that nature. So, let's get to it. Now, the only thing you're really going to need for this is some gloves. You're really not going to need any tools or anything unless you're dealing with a clog, but in this case, we're just cleaning it out. And we also have a trash bag here, so I can empty all this dirt into it. Now, you're going to want to put something underneath your vacuum, just like we did, like with this white sheet. We don't care about this sheet too much. We don't care if it really gets dirty or if it gets anything on it, so you always want to keep something like that handy. Alright, so we got our trash bag opened up, and we're going to take this dustbin, and we're going to empty it out. Now, in some shark vacuums, you're going to have latches on the sides, and this one, this is where we undo the waste bin. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to remove it like so. Alright, now that our waste bin's removed, we're going to open it up and see what we're dealing with. Now, if your vacuum experiences any kind of loss of suction, this is one place you want to check first. I'm going to open this up, and right here, if these screens are clogged at all, you're going to experience some kind of loss of suction. Now, ours look pretty good, so we're going to close it back up and we're going to empty it out. We're going to come over here to our trash bag. Alright, now that this is emptied out, we're going to set it to the side. And you're going to want to take your trash can or bag, and we're going to want to scoot that over. And what you should be left over here is with your filters. Now, this one has two filters up in here, a foam one and a felt one underneath. And here's a picture of the diagram that is on the vacuum itself. Alright, now removing this filter is pretty straightforward. You're just going to come over here and you're going to lift it up. And now we're left with our felt filter. And as you see here, there's a little tab and we're supposed to pull it. So we're going to come over here and pull it out. Alright, so here's our filters up close, and just check out how dirty they are. Now, in some vacuum cleaners, some of these filters are not washable. In this case, they are washable. So we're going to take this filter and we're going to separate it from this housing, and we're going to take this and we're going to put it in our washing machine. Now, to remove this foam filter from this housing, I'm going to do it with one hand, but you just kind of push that out. Another thing that's also often overlooked when maintaining a vacuum is cleaning out your brush roller. Now, this vacuum is a duo clean, so it has two brush rollers. And to get to it, you're going to have a tab on each side. You're going to want to push that tab and then push this tab. And now, as you can see, this comes right off. And here's what we're left with. Our brush roller is pretty dirty. Now, since this is a duo clean, there's actually two brush rollers. We have our main brush roller right here, which sweeps all our dirt into our hose right here where the suction is. And then we have this one right here, which is kind of like a microfiber material, which helps gather hair and dust and whatnot. So it goes to our main brush roller, which then sucks it up into the vacuum. Now, on our microfiber brush roller, there's a little tab if we want to take it off. It says pull right here. We're going to take our finger, put it behind it, and we're just going to pull it out. And now that our microfiber brush roller is removed, we can see all kinds of dirt that we couldn't see before. Now, you can wash this along with your filters if you would like, but in this case I'm not going to, because we use this vacuum for cleaning up after our dogs and whatnot. Now, when cleaning your filters, if you're trying to get rid of any unwanted smells or anything like that, it's best to wash it with some vinegar when you put it in the washing machine, or you can wash it by hand. Now, when putting these in the washing machine, we want to make sure that we put it on a gentle cycle. We don't want it to be too rough on these filters because they are foam, which means they could be a little delicate. Alright, so now we're at our washing machine and we have our filters, and we're going to toss them in. Now, I added enough laundry detergent for about half of a load, and I added some vinegar to get rid of any kind of odors or smells that might be trapped in the filters. Alright, so we have our filters in the washing machine. We have it on delicates. I turned up the water to hot and the soil level to max. And we're going to start it. Alright, so while our filters are in the washing machine, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna work on the rest of this crud that's built up on our brush roller. Now when it comes to this extra string and hair and dirt and whatever else might be in there, I find it best to use a razor knife to kind of cut it out so it's easier to grab. Now you want to be careful when you're doing this so you don't cut yourself. And as we're cleaning this off, you're going to want to go along each bristle, kind of pull off some of the dirt. Alright, now that our brush roller's pretty much cleaned out, we can move on to the front here where this microfiber brush roller was. And as you can see here already, look at the major difference there is. Now I'm not going to go in depth on cleaning this in this video, we're going to do that in another video. So now let's move on to removing the hair right here. Now I put the vacuum on its back, and now look at all that extra hair and gunk we would have never caught before. So now let's remove it. Since we have gloves on, we're just gonna kind of do what we did with the brush roll, pinch it out. Now look at all that dirt. Now if we wouldn't have flipped the vacuum over like we did, we would have probably never found a lot of this. So it's a good thing to flip it over just to double check. We're gonna continue on cleaning this off. Now it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, in this instance, this vacuum is used for pets, pretty much pets only, so there's going to be hair, and there's kind of no need to deep clean it, especially when it's going to get dirty all over again. Alright, so we got most of our dirt out. It's not perfect, but it's a lot cleaner than what it was, and here is a more up-close view. And here's all our extra dirt that we pulled out of the brush roller and the little cracks and crevices. Now if we would have never checked the bottom of the vacuum cleaner, we would have never found all this extra dirt and hair. So now we got our hair out and we're ready to put this thing back together. So first we're going to take our microfiber brush roller, we're going to put it right here into its slot. We're going to make sure that the pull tab right here is outside, and we're going to push down. And you should hear a click. Now that means that your brush roller is now in place. Now with our microfiber brush roller in, we can put our cover back on. And how to do that is, there's 3 tabs right here and 3 tabs on here. We're going to line them up. They kind of fit in nice and snug, and just push down. You should hear a click indicating that this is back into its respective place. Now this is optional, but if you have a microfiber towel just laying around, it's probably a good idea to come in here and kind of wipe all this extra dust and dirt out. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just kind of a preventative measure. And there we have it. Now we're ready for our filters. So we cleaned our brush roller, we cleaned our microfiber brush roller, we got all the extra dirt and gunk out of there, we wiped the inside of our filter housing off with a microfiber towel. Now all there is to do is wait on the filters to be done. Alright, so now that our filters are done in the washing machine, here's how they turned out. They're not 100% perfect. They've been in this vacuum for quite a while. I would say for about at least 2 years. They're probably due for replacing soon, but cleaning them is way better than just leaving them sit with a bunch of dirt and whatnot building up. And here's our felt filter. Turned out a lot nicer. Looks pretty good. So now we can take our filters and put them back on our vacuum. So first we're going to take our felt filter, we're going to put it in with this tab up, and we're going to push it down in there like so. Next, we have our foam filter, and we're going to put it back on top of our housing. And then we're going to put it back in here like so. If I didn't mention before, this is after waiting about 24 hours of air drying. If you don't want to wait the full 24 hours for air drying, you can take your filters and put them in the dryer with no heat, and you should get about the same results. So now that our filters are back on, we can take our dustbin and we can put it back on. Now I did rinse this out, so it's a little bit cleaner than it was before. We're going to take it, we'll put it on our vacuum like so, and then we're going to push forward. Just like that. And when you see this clip down and you hear that little clicking noise, that means it's in place. So we got our brush rollers clean, the microfiber one and the normal brush roller. We have both of our filters clean and dried, and we have our dust container cleaned and emptied out. A lot of times when people maintain their vacuum, something that is often overlooked is the HEPA filter. Ours is right here behind this vent. Now to access the HEPA filter, we're going to put our vacuum on its back, and then we're going to come over here, and right here there's a little lever, and we're going to pull it. And this should lift up just like so, revealing our HEPA filter. Now at first glance, our HEPA filter doesn't actually look dirty, but you're not going to know how dirty it truly is until you remove it. And to remove it, you're just going to grab it and pull up. Ours isn't too bad, but it is going to need replaced soon. Now, when cleaning a HEPA filter, you only want to use air or cold water, and you never want to put this in the dryer, and you always want to let it air dry. And since we have our cover off right here, we're going to go ahead and remove some of that dust. Now with our HEPA filter completely removed, we're going to take our microfiber rag, and we're going to come in here and we're going to wipe it off. If you have an extra vacuum that you can use to kind of suck some of this dust out, that would be helpful as well. Now here's our HEPA filter completely removed. Now I'm not going to clean it because I'm afraid that if I do, it might fall apart because it needs replaced anyway. So we're just going to put it back in, and next time we clean the vacuum, we'll be sure to replace it. So now, just like taking the HEPA filter out, it's the same way we're going to put it back in. We're going to put it in like this and kind of just set it in there like so. So now that our HEPA filter is back in its place, we're going to take our cover here and put it back on. And you're going to do that by taking this cover, putting it in the tabs, and pushing down. And you should hear a click indicating that this is closed. So I showed you how to take your dustbin off, clean your filters, check your HEPA filter, and clean your brush rollers. Now you're going to want to make sure to do this every 60 to 90 days to keep your vacuum performing optimally. Now if you don't maintain your vacuum correctly, you could experience loss of suction and power, you could strain out the motor, which could make the motor go out, and a whole array of other problems that you want to avoid just by simply maintaining your vacuum. So we got our vacuum all good to go. The filters are clean, the brush rollers are cleaned out, and it's ready to go. If you enjoyed this video or learned something, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that little bell for notifications for other new videos. If there's anything in particular you would like to see me fix or clean or whatnot, drop a comment down below so I can hear your suggestions. My name's Greg with the Repair Lab, and have a great rest of your day.